My sister screamed, "Tell us what?" The room went utterly silent. You could literally hear a pin drop. My dad, David, had just dropped his fork onto his plate, the clang echoing through the sudden stillness, his face drained of all color. I just smiled, a small, tight thing, and looked at him. "Dad," I asked, my voice calm, almost too calm, "should I tell them, or will you?" Honestly, it wasn't supposed to go down like this. I mean, sure, I knew Thanksgiving was going to be a powder keg, but I didn't plan for it to detonate quite so spectacularly. For me, that moment, right there, was the culmination of years, decades even, of my family's particular brand of, well, chaos. Let me rewind a bit, because to understand that silence, that dropped fork, and that scream, you need to understand how we even got to that dining room table in Longmont, Colorado, in the first place. I'm Ethan, I'm 28, and I'm an environmental compliance inspector. Yeah, it sounds a little dry, but trust me, when you're the guy who can shut down a multi-million-dollar construction project with one signature, it gets interesting. I live in Denver now, built my own life, really. And for good reason. See, my parents, Maria and David, they always had a favorite. And it was never me. It was my younger sister, Chloe. She's 29, still lived at home in Longmont, worked as a receptionist. My parents treated her like she was made of gold, and I was the one who could be trusted to handle things, to take care of myself. That's what they always said. "Ethan's strong, he can handle it." I usually kept my distance, tried to stay out of their mess. But this Thanksgiving, they pulled something so wild, so audacious, I'm still trying to process it, even now. It all started about 3 weeks before Thanksgiving. I was on a site in Colorado Springs, elbow deep in soil samples from a highway expansion project. Dirt under my nails, a dust mask headache. My phone buzzed. It was Maria. "Honey," she started. And my stomach immediately dropped. That honey voice? It meant she either wanted something big, or she wanted me to shut up about something even bigger. "What's up, Mom?" I asked, setting down the sample bag. "I just want to make sure you're still coming for Thanksgiving, and that you're going to be nice," she said, putting emphasis on nice. Nice about what? I asked, a feeling of dread already curling in my gut. "Your sister has some wonderful news to share. We're all very excited for her. I just don't want you to make it about you or start anything." There it was. I was the problem before I even stepped foot in their house. Before I even knew what the wonderful news was. Chloe, the golden child, 29, still living at home, driving the car David bought her, credit card Maria paid off, never paid a day of rent in her life. What glorious news could she possibly have that would require me to be nice? "I'll be there," I said. "And I'll be happy for her." "Sure, Ethan," she replied, a hint of doubt in her voice. What choice did she have? I hung up, staring at my phone. 28 years of this pattern. Chloe got celebrated for just existing, for showing up. I got interrogated for existing. I remembered when I was 23, drowning in student loans, I asked David for $5,000. He told me, "Ethan, you need to learn the value of hard work." 2 years later, Chloe wanted to go to Europe. $8,000 for 3 weeks. David paid for the whole thing. If I didn't laugh, I'd probably just start shaking. My boss, Mr. Harrison, stuck his head into my office later that day. He's been in this business for 30 years, seen every kind of family drama. "You look like you just got bad news," he observed. "Family stuff," I muttered. He just nodded. Didn't pry. That's why I liked him. Heading home for the holiday? Yeah. Need to talk about it? Nah, I'm good. He studied me for a second. "You're one of the most level-headed guys I've ever worked with, Ethan. Whatever it is, you'll handle it right." I appreciated that more than he knew. That night, back at my apartment in Capitol Hill, I wasn't going through work files. I was going through other files. The ones I'd been building since September. It started with a phone call on September 19th, 10:15 in the morning. I was on site near Fort Collins, about to crawl under a house to check foundation drains. "Son, I need to talk to you about something important," David said. My stomach did a flip. Someone died? Someone sick? What was wrong? "We need some help. Financial help. It's Maria. She had surgery back in July. Insurance didn't cover everything. We're looking at about $22,000 in medical bills." I didn't hesitate. "I can help. How much do you need?" "All of it? 22,000? Can you wire it this week?" Something felt off. Maria had surgery in July. It was September. Why wait 2 months to ask? But they were my parents. I pushed the doubt down. "Let me call the hospital," I said. "I'll set up a payment plan directly with them." Silence. A long, uncomfortable silence. "We'd prefer the cash," David finally said, his voice tight. "We'll handle the hospital." That's when I knew. "Dad, if it's medical bills, I pay the hospital, not you." His voice changed. Got defensive. "We don't need you questioning us. We need help." "Then let me help properly," I shot back. "What hospital?" He hung up. Just like that. I sat in my truck for 20 minutes, staring at nothing, then I started making calls. The 3 major hospitals in the area. No outstanding balances under my parents' names for what David claimed. No $22,000 bills. So I dug deeper. Pulled property records on their house. Cost me $65. What I found made my blood run cold: a second mortgage for $93,000, for months delinquent. The first mortgage, $56,000 remaining, 2 months delinquent. I sat in my truck, printout clutched in shaking hands, throat tight. My dad lied about Maria's surgery. Lied to get money. Lied because he knew if I found out the truth, I'd pull the records. And I did. Everything I could legally get my hands on. Loan documents from the county recorder. Marina records. My dad, the man who told me to learn the value of hard work, had bought a 38-foot cabin cruiser. $79,000. A boat. He put the house at risk for a boat. 2 weeks later, Chloe posted online, big announcement at Thanksgiving. House emojis. That's when I knew. They were going to try to trap her, just like they tried to trap me. I started making copies. Everything. I'd been carrying that folder ever since. Thanksgiving morning, I was on the road to Longmont by 8 a.m. Traffic was a mess, as usual for the holidays. The family group chat was already blowing up. Chloe, * can't wait for everyone to get here. Today is going to be so special, * Maria, Ethan, what time will you be here? Me, around 2, Maria, * perfect. Chloe's announcement is at 2:30, * scheduled. Choreographed. A performance. I pulled into their driveway at 1:58. Aunt Brenda's Mercedes was there. Uncle Mark's pickup. My cousin Brooke's Honda. Ryan's parents' SUV. At least 15 cars total. The folder was on my passenger seat. I grabbed it, locked the truck, and walked up the front steps. Chloe opened the door before I even knocked. She was wearing a white sweater dress, hair curled, makeup perfect. Looked like she was going to a cocktail party, not family dinner. "You made it," she said. Not warm. Just observational. She stepped aside, no hug. We stopped doing that years ago. The house was packed. People everywhere. Football on the TV. Kids running around. That green bean casserole, you know, the one that everyone pretends to like. David was in the living room with Chloe's boyfriend, Ryan. Ryan, an insurance salesman, made maybe 55 grand a year, drove a leased BMW he couldn't afford, wore cologne that smelled like a high school locker room. Ethan. David stood up, came over, did the hug backslap thing. Good to see you, son. His eyes were searching mine, trying to figure out if I was going to be a problem. I smiled, gave him nothing. Grandma, 84 years old, sharper than anyone in that room, was in her corner chair. She watched me walk in, gave me a small nod. She knew something was coming. I could see it in her face. I found a spot at the dining room table, put the folder on the floor next to my chair, and waited. People filed in, filling seats, making small talk. Someone was asking about the game. Someone else complaining about gas prices. Aunt Brenda was detailing her book club drama. Uncle Mark was explaining his new truck's towing capacity. Chloe sat at the head of the table, the position of honor. Maria to her right, David to her left. Ryan next to David, looking nervous. There was someone else at the table I didn't recognize. An older woman, professional looking, a briefcase next to her chair. Who's that? I quietly asked Brooke. No idea. She showed up right before you. I was across from Chloe, direct line of sight. She caught my eye, smiled. It wasn't a kind smile. It was a winner's smile. David stood up, tapped his fork against his wine glass. Chairs squeaked. Before we eat, I want to say a few words about family, about gratitude, about the blessings we've been given this year. Same speech every year, minor variations. We're especially grateful to have everyone here today. And we have some very exciting news to share. He looked at Chloe. She stood up. Ryan stood up next to her, but she was the star here. The room watched. Some people had their phones out, recording, waiting for the moment. Ryan's mom was smiling too hard, trying to look supportive for the camera. Chloe started, her voice shaking a little, excitement, nerves, hard to tell. Mom and Dad are giving us the house. We'll take over the existing loans, which Dad says are in great shape, and start building equity. No more renting. The room exploded. Clapping, cheering. Someone whistled. Aunt Brenda was crying. Uncle Mark was shouting congratulations. My cousins all smiling, raising glasses. We'll handle everything. Chloe continued, louder now over the noise. The payments, the upkeep, just as building something real. More cheering, more phones. Forks stopped halfway to mouths. David stood up, held up his hand. And because the lender requires signatures to finalize the transfer and new loan terms, we've brought in a mobile closing agent. We're going to handle the paperwork right here, right now. The woman at the end of the table stood up, opened her briefcase, pulled out a stack of papers. This is Sarah, David said. She does after-hours mobile signings. She's here to oversee the signing and notarize the documents. Chloe, sweetheart, if you come down here, we can get started. Chloe was glowing. She started walking towards Sarah. Ryan was filming on his phone. This is amazing. This is really happening. My chest tightened. My jaw wouldn't stop twitching. This was it. They were actually going to do it. Right here. Right now. Then Chloe looked directly at me. The room was still noisy, but her focus was laser-sharp. Unlike some people who left and only come home twice a year, I've always been here. I help with the yard. I run errands. I show up. And I think actions should have rewards. Someone laughed, then immediately regretted it. People were looking at me now, waiting for my reaction. Brooke leaned toward her boyfriend, whispered something. He looked at me, grinned. Uncle Mark raised his glass. To the daughter who stayed. To Chloe. To Chloe, the room echoed. Aunt Brenda set down her wineglass, looked at me with this pitying expression. You're not upset? I mean, this is basically the whole inheritance going to your sister. Should I be? I asked. Well, she glanced at Chloe. I just think some people might feel hurt. He's fine, Chloe snapped, her voice sharp. He doesn't need anything from us. He's got his big Denver life. My cousin Noah spoke up from the corner. Dude, that's cold. Noah, don't start, someone said. What? I'm just saying what everyone's thinking. Guy moves away, barely visits, and now he's supposed to smile while she gets the house. I took a sip of water, put the glass down carefully, didn't say anything. Uncle Mark leaned back in his chair. Denver made you cold, Ethan. You used to be part of this family. I am part of this family. Are you? Chloe cut in. Because you act like you're better than all of us. Like this life isn't good enough for you. Some younger cousin, Leo, maybe 16, leaned across the table with his phone, shoved it close to my face. Get his reaction. This is gold. I didn't move. Didn't blink. Looked straight at the camera. Make sure you get my good side. It's the only one that shows up here. Uncle Mark laughed. Sharp. Mean. Look at him. Ice cold. Nothing bothers the big city guy. Can we just eat? Leo piped up. This is awkward. It's not awkward, Chloe said. Ethan's just being Ethan, Maria said quickly. Ethan understands. He's always been the strong one. Aunt Brenda was looking at me strangely now. But still, David, this seems like a lot to give to one child. Chloe earned it, David said firmly. She stayed. Ethan made his choices. Say congratulations. Chloe demanded. Like you mean it. Don't just sit there judging us. The phone kept recording, little red dot glowing. Smile, Ethan, Maria added, sweet voice, steel underneath. Chloe was still standing, papers in Sarah's hand, pen ready. I set down my glass. That's really generous, I said. Congratulations. Chloe blinked. Smile like you mean it. I am smiling, I said, a flat tone. This is just my watching a train hit a wall face. Aunt Brenda touched my arm. You're really okay with this? Should I be upset? I mean, it's your family home, too. He left it. Chloe snapped. You don't get to leave and complain when someone else gets what you abandoned. Noah muttered, that's harsh. It's true. He's too good for Longmont, too good for family dinners, too good for Sunday visits. Actions have consequences. I stayed, I get the reward. Sarah cleared her throat. Just to be clear, these signature lines make you the new borrowers on the loans. If we're doing this, we should get started. David nodded, gestured to Chloe. Chloe took a step toward Sarah. I looked at David. He was pale, knuckles white, gripping his chair. Hey, Dad, I said. We can do this privately. Walk with me. He froze. No. Chloe said immediately. We're doing this here in front of everyone. You don't get to pull him aside and poison it. Maria's face went tight. Ethan, please don't ruin this. I'm offering to not ruin it privately, I said. There's nothing to discuss, David said, his voice shaking. Chloe was already walking back towards Sarah. Just ignore him. He's trying to make this about him like always. Last chance, I said quietly. For what? Chloe snapped. What could you possibly have to say? I reached down, picked up the folder. Okay then. We do it here. David's face drained. Every drop of color gone. Maria's hand started shaking so hard she had to put down her wineglass. Ethan, David said, his voice strangled. Not now. Not now? I opened the folder. When would be better? After she signs? Signs what? Ryan asked, his brows furrowed. I pulled out the first document. A foreclosure notice. Big red letters. Case number printed at the top. I placed it in the middle of the table, right on the turkey platter. The notice of default, I said. Filed October 27th. For months of missed payments on the second mortgage. 2 months on the first. Chloe was staring at the document. What is that? I pulled out another page. The foreclosure filing itself. Timeline. Amounts. To stop foreclosure, the bank wants a reinstatement payment of $27,000 by mid-December. After that, the combined monthly payment is about $2,800. And that's before utilities, property tax, insurance, and repairs. That's not. Maria started. Call the bank, I interrupted. Ask what's required to reinstate the loan on this address, or look up the foreclosure filing. Case number's right there at the top. Public record. Nobody moved. Sarah was packing her briefcase. She stood up. I can't proceed while the parties are disputing the terms and there's visible coercion. If you want to continue, reschedule through the lender. She walked out fast, her heels clicking rapidly on the hardwood floor. I looked around the table at all the faces. The phones were still recording. So, I said, my voice cutting through the stunned silence. Here's the question, do you want the truth, or the performance? Someone's phone kept recording, the little red dot glowing. I can walk out, let you sign, let you find out when the reinstatement deadline hits and you can't come up with $27,000. Or I tell you now. Chloe was moving, coming around toward me. You're lying because you can't stand that I'm happy. She was standing over me, pointing, her voice loud, slammed her hand on the table. Silverware jumped, knocked over a wine glass. Red wine spread across the white tablecloth, bleeding into the corner of the paperwork. I snatched the folder back. Sit down, I said, flat, quiet. She stopped. Something in my voice. She stayed standing, but didn't come closer. I pulled out more papers. Recorded mortgage documents. Tax lien notices. My own texts with David. You're not giving her a house free and clear, I said, my voice low and steady. You're giving her debt. Mortgage and escrow alone? About $34,000 a year. Not counting what breaks. Not counting what the county's already filed liens for. Aunt Brenda grabbed one of the papers. Her eyes wide. David, this is real. Where did you get these? County Recorder's Office, I said. Public records. $65. Ryan was backing away, his face pale. Wait, Chloe, you said the loans were current and manageable. You didn't say anything about default or reinstatement. They are current. Chloe stammered, looking at David. Right? You said the loans were in great shape. You said we just needed to sign the transfer. David couldn't speak. Uncle Mark picked up the foreclosure notice. His face hard. This says they're months behind. Final notice. That can't be right, Maria whispered. It's dated October 27th, I continued. Chloe makes $38,000. Ryan makes $55,000. Combined take-home, maybe 70. You'd spend half your income just keeping the house. Nothing left for a wedding, savings, emergencies. Brooke's mouth was open. They were going to trick her. They were going to trap her, I corrected. Ryan's face was red. You told me the house was in good standing. You said we'd be building equity, not digging out a foreclosure. We thought we could catch up, David said weakly. Based on what? I asked. What changed? What suddenly made you think you could handle debt you've been defaulting on for months? Silence. Ryan grabbed his coat. I'm out. I'm done with this. Ryan, wait. Chloe chased him toward the door, her heels clicking on the hardwood. Baby, please. We can figure this out. We can. The front door slammed. His parents followed him out, raised voices in the driveway. Chloe came back 30 seconds later, mascara running, lipstick smeared. You did this. You ruined everything. I didn't ruin anything, I said. I read it out loud. They needed help. You should have helped them. I tried. They refused. Ryan's parents came back in. His mom's face was hard. He won't talk to us. Says he needs space. She turned to Maria and David. You are going to do this to our son? We thought they'd figure it out, Maria said weakly. Figure out foreclosure? Marital debt? Grandma spoke for the first time, her voice cutting through the chaos like a knife. What do you mean they refused? Everyone stopped, looked at me. I pulled out my phone, opened the call log. September 19th, Dad called me. Said, Mom had surgery. $22,000 in medical bills. Asked me to wire the money. I showed the screen to people nearby. Date, time, duration of call. I said yes immediately. Said I'd call the hospital and set up a payment plan. He said no. Wanted cash. That's when I knew something was wrong. I looked at Maria. So, I called the hospitals. Asked if there were any outstanding balances under my parents' names matching what Dad claimed. Nobody had bills like that. Nothing recent that fit. Maria's face crumpled. That's when I pulled the property records, found the mortgages, found the missed payments, found the foreclosure timeline. You should have given him the money anyway. Chloe said, her voice raw. To spend on what? More boat maintenance? Uncle Mark's head snapped up. Boat? I pulled out another document. Boat registration from the marina. 38-foot cabin cruiser. March 2021. $79,000. The room went nuclear. Uncle Mark standing. Aunt Brenda yelling. Brooke shaking her head. You bought a boat? Uncle Mark's voice could strip paint. We thought we'd afford it, David whispered. Grandma stood. Her chair scraped across the floor. Everyone went quiet. How long have you been hiding this? 2 years, David finally said. And instead of asking for help, you decided to lie to your children. We were desperate. Maria protested. Desperate enough to lie in loan documents? Brooke said. That's fraud if they misrepresented the transfer to the lender. You tried to do this to Ethan first, didn't you? Aunt Brenda asked. I nodded. May 7th. Asked me to co-sign. Called it a refinance. Just a formality. Did you sign? Uncle Mark asked. Almost. Told them I wanted my lawyer to review it first. I pulled out another document. Email from my lawyer. Subject, do not sign. She said if I signed, I'd be legally responsible for $149,000. That's when I started digging. Chloe turned on me, pointed. This is all your fault. I'm not ruining anything. I'm reading it out loud. You were never the important one, she hissed, venomous. You were never good enough, and you can't stand that I finally won. The room went silent again. That was the line. The one you don't come back from. My hands balled into fists under the table. Asterisk hold it. Just hold it, asterisk Brooke's mouth dropped. Aunt Brenda looked horrified. I just looked at Chloe. Didn't react. Noted, I said quietly. The argument started again, louder. Phones were out, taking pictures. I stood up. Chloe looked at me, her face a mess. How long have you known? Since September. Why didn't you tell me? I tried 3 times. You were always with them. They made sure I couldn't get you alone. You could have tried harder. I'm trying now. She laughed, a sharp, breaking sound. By humiliating me? By stopping you from signing away your life? I grabbed my coat. You're welcome. Grandma stood up. Her chair scraped again. Everyone went quiet. David, give me the boat keys. David blinked. What? The boat keys. Right now. You're not paying slip fees for another month while my grandchildren nearly get trapped in debt. Mom, Keys now, or I call the marina myself and have it impounded. David fumbled in his pocket, pulled out a keychain, handed it to her. She pocketed it, then pulled out her phone, started dialing. Who are you calling? Maria asked, her voice small. My lawyer. We're changing my estate plan tonight. Everything gets split equally between Ethan and Chloe. You get nothing until you've proven you can be trusted. She put the phone to her ear, walked into the other room. Uncle Mark spoke up. That boat's getting listed tomorrow. I know a guy who does marine sales. We'll get whatever we can for it. You can't. David started. Watch me. I walked toward the door. Aunt Brenda stopped me, put a hand on my arm. Most of us saw it. How they treated you different than Chloe. We didn't say anything. I'm sorry for that. I nodded. Didn't know what else to do with that information. You did the right thing, she said quietly. Doesn't feel like it. It never does. I walked out. Didn't look back. My phone lit up before I reached my truck. Text from Brooke, asterisk Aunt Brenda called the cops. Thinks there might be elder abuse or fraud. This is going to get bigger, asterisk I sat there for 10 minutes, just breathing, watching the house through the windshield. Then I started the engine and drove back to Denver. 2 weeks after Thanksgiving, I got a call from Detective Miller with Jefferson County. We met at a coffee shop. She was early 40s, professional. Took notes in an actual notebook. Thank you for meeting. No problem. You're not in trouble. We're looking into your parents. There may be issues around loan misrepresentation. I walked her through everything. The September call, the timeline, the documents. She took notes, flipped through pages, eyebrows rising. Your parents claim you handled their finances, that you advised them on the property transfer. I pulled out my phone, showed her texts. Here's where he asked for money. I offered to pay the hospital. He refused. That's it. I never touched their accounts. She photographed the screen. So, they're shifting liability, apparently. Do you have evidence you weren't involved? 3 years of zero contact with their bank. No joint accounts, no power of attorney, plus my lawyer's documentation from when they tried to get me to co-sign in May. She flipped back through notes. Your sister mentioned they pushed hard for a spring wedding. March, specifically. They set the date before Ryan proposed. Maria picked the venue. March would have been 4 months after the property transfer, right when payments came due. If your sister and fiancé were married and living there, they'd expect his income to cover it without telling him upfront what he was actually getting into. That's the fraud angle we're looking at. Misrepresentation to both the borrowers and potentially the lender if they falsified occupancy or intent. What do you need from me? Truthful testimony if it goes to court, which it probably won't. Most of these settle. I'll tell the truth. That's all I've been doing. She closed her notebook. You saved your sister from years of financial disaster. Most people don't have someone willing to blow up Thanksgiving to protect them. I just read the paperwork. She smiled at that. I'll be in touch. David showed up at my office 3 days later. Mr. Harrison called me in. Your father says there's a family emergency. David was there, looking small. We need to talk, he said. Mr. Harrison was reading the room. Take the day if you need to, Ethan. I'm good. This will be quick. We walked outside. Cold wind. You need to fix this. Detective taking documents. They're saying fraud. That's not my problem. We're family. You don't do this to family. You tried to trap your daughter in debt she couldn't handle. What do you call that? We were desperate. Then you should have asked for help. Honestly. He grabbed my arm. You could make this go away. Tell them it was a misunderstanding. I looked at his hand on my arm, then back at his face. Let go. He did. I'm not lying for you. Whatever happens now is what you earn. She's falling apart. Your sister's not eating, not sleeping, medication. Because she almost signed away her life, or because Ryan left? Both. Then she should thank me. Ethan, please, stop contacting my workplace. Stop showing up here. Text if you need something. I'll decide if I respond. I walked back inside. Mr. Harrison was waiting. You okay? Yeah. Family stuff. He nodded. You handled that well. By mid-December, the foreclosure moved forward. Chloe texted, *I met with a therapist. She says I was conditioned to accept manipulation. That I confused favoritism with love. Better to figure it out now than never. Can we talk when you're ready? Christmas, I didn't go home. Brooke sent a photo from Grandma's small dinner. Caption, *new tradition. You're invited next year, Grandma called that night. Chloe's staying with me. Therapy's helping. Your parents filed bankruptcy. Tell her I'm here when she's ready. January. David sent angry texts. I sent one back, *stop contacting my workplace. Further contact will be documented as harassment, *, then I blocked his number. Mr. Harrison told me I was up for promotion in March. Life moved forward. February 14th, Chloe texted, *, can we meet? Coffee, *, we met in Longmont. She was there first. Looked better, healthier. Hey, she said. Hey. Awkward silence. I'm sorry for Thanksgiving. For what I said, for believing them over you. You didn't know. I should have questioned it. I wanted the fantasy too bad. How are you now? Better. Living with Grandma. Figuring out who I am outside of being Dad's favorite. She laughed, a real laugh this time. Turns out being the favorite means being the most useful. She hesitated. I started seeing someone, Alex. He's a paramedic. I told him everything. He didn't run. That's good. I miss having a brother. I'm still your brother. She started crying. I don't deserve that. Probably not, I said, a small smile, but you're getting it anyway. We talked for an hour about the favoritism, the patterns, me being expected to handle things while she got protected. They've been paying my car payment for a year, she admitted. I didn't know that specifically, but it tracked. I thought I earned it. Turns out I was just easier to control. They couldn't control me. That's why they came after you. Do you hate them? No. But I don't trust them. And I don't owe them my destruction. Grandma's changing her will. Splitting everything equally between us. David gets nothing until he proves he can be trusted. Good. We left, stood in the parking lot. Cold February wind. Can I hug you? Yeah. She hugged me tight. Thank you for saving me, even though I hated you for it. You're welcome. Can we do this again? Yeah. Call me whenever. March brought the promotion. Mr. Harrison called me in. Senior inspector. 15% raise. You earned it. Thanks. You've changed this year. More focused. Whatever you've been working through, it shows. Spring came. I was working on a project in Golden, Colorado, when Maria called. Ethan. Her voice was small. We need to talk. Your father and I have been in counseling. We want to apologize. Really apologize. Okay. Can we see you face to face? Why? Because we owe you that. Because we were wrong. I thought about it. I'll think about it. Please. Your father is different now. I'll think about it. I hung up. That night, I called Grandma. Mom wants to meet. Says they've been in counseling. They have. I've been paying for it. Condition of helping them. Do you think they've changed? Long pause. I think they're scared. Not the same as changed. Should I meet with them? Your decision. But if you do, make them earn it. Thanks, Grandma. I didn't meet with them. Didn't respond to Maria's texts. Held the boundary. May 18th, 6 months after Thanksgiving. Text from Chloe. Asterisk family dinner at Grandma's this weekend. She wants everyone there, including you. Including them. Says it's time asterisk I'm not interested asterisk Ethan, I know, but Grandma asked. And she's 84. For her, asterisk I'll think about it, 2 days later, I'll come, but I'm leaving if it goes sideways, Chloe, fair, Saturday afternoon. Grandma's house. I was the last to arrive. I parked, sat there, asked myself if this was worth it. Then I got out. Grandma opened the door. You came. You asked. Thank you. She hugged me. Keep an open mind, but don't take any garbage. I walked in. The living room was set up like a mediation. Grandma's chair at the head. Chloe was sitting with Alex. Brooke next to her boyfriend. Uncle Mark and Aunt Brenda on the other couch. And Maria and David on the love seat, looking smaller, older. David had lost weight. They looked up when I walked in. David started to stand. Sit down, Grandma said. Not loud, just firm. He sat. I took the chair farthest from them. Next to Chloe. Grandma sat. We're here because this family is broken. Broken things either get fixed or thrown away. I'm too old to throw away my family, so we're fixing it. Nobody spoke. David, Maria, you have things to say. Say them. David cleared his throat, his voice shaky. Ethan, we owe you an apology. A real one. We tried to use you when you wouldn't let us. We tried to use your sister. We put our problems onto our children. That was wrong. Maria was crying. We were drowning. The debt, the house, the boat. Instead of asking for help, we tried to manipulate you both. We've been in counseling for 5 months, David said. Working through why? The pressure, the shame, the fear of admitting failure. We filed bankruptcy. Chapter 7. Everything's gone. We're starting over with nothing. And that's what we deserved. Maria added, you didn't do this to us. We did it to ourselves. Silence. Grandma looked at me. Do you have anything to say? I took a breath. You didn't just try to use me. You tried to destroy me. And when I wouldn't let you, you moved to Chloe. You would have let her drown to avoid consequences. David was crying now. You called my job, showed up at my workplace, tried to frame me as unstable, made me the villain for telling the truth. I know, David whispered. So, no, I said. I don't accept your apology. Not yet. Maria's face crumpled. What do we have to do? Prove it through actions. Make amends. Build something real. How long? However long it takes. I don't owe you a timeline. Chloe spoke up. They've been trying. Therapy. Being honest about the favoritism, about using me and treating you as expendable. That doesn't erase what they did. No, she said. But it's a start. I looked at my parents. Really looked at them. They were broken. Not performing. Just broken. You wanted the image more than your kids. Now you don't have either. So what are you going to do? Maria wiped her eyes. Whatever it takes. However long. We just want our children back. You can't have us back the way we were. That's dead. But maybe you can have something new. Grandma spoke. I've changed my will. Everything's split equally between Ethan and Chloe. Nothing goes to David until he's proven he can be trusted. David didn't argue, just nodded. And if Ethan says he's leaving, nobody follows him. Nobody argues. And nobody guilt trips him. Anyone who violates that answers to me. Understood, David said quietly. I stood up. I'm leaving now. This was enough. Chloe stood too. Can I walk you out? Yeah. We walked to the door, stepped outside. The evening air was warm. Thank you for coming, she said. For Grandma, not for them. I know, but still. It mattered. Are you okay? Getting there. Alex has been good for me. Therapy's helping. I'm figuring out who I am when I'm not performing. Good. Are we okay? We're getting there. She hugged me. I love you. Even when I hated you, I loved you. Love you, too. I walked to my truck, got in, sat there for a minute. My phone buzzed. Text from David. Asterisk, thank you for listening. I know I don't deserve it. I'll spend the rest of my life earning your trust back if that's even possible. Asterisk, I read it, didn't respond, put the phone down, started the engine, drove home. 6 months ago, I nuked my family to save my sister. Today, I sat in a room with the wreckage. The truth didn't fix everything, but it cleared the ground. I pulled into my parking spot, walked up to my apartment, small one-bedroom, nothing fancy, but it was mine. Inside, I poured a drink, sat on the couch. My phone buzzed. Chloe, Alex wants to meet you officially. Dinner sometime, yeah. Name the day, next Friday, that Thai place in Lohi works for me. I set the phone down. Tomorrow, I had a site inspection in Boulder. After that, dinner with Chloe and Alex. 18 months later, I was at Grandma's for her 86th birthday. Small gathering. Chloe and Alex, Brooke and her boyfriend, Uncle Mark, Aunt Brenda. Chloe was different now. Sharper, more grounded. She'd moved out of Grandma's in June, got her own apartment in Castle Rock, handled her own bills, her own life. You look good, I told her. Feel good. Alex and I are talking about getting engaged. Actual planning this time, not someone else's timeline. That's good. Dad reached out last week, asked if we could meet. What did you say? Maybe eventually, when I'm ready. She looked at me. You same. We weren't fixed, but we weren't broken the same way. Maria and David were in a rental in Westminster. David worked at a hardware store. Maria did bookkeeping for a church. They were rebuilding slowly, without the boat, without the lies. Grandma called us to the table. Cake time. As we were singing, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I ignored it. After cake, I checked. Voicemail from David. Ethan, just wanted to say, your grandmother's birthday. I know we're not invited. That's fair. I just wanted you to know we're thinking about you both, about the family. We're working on it. That's all. Hope you're doing well. I saved it. Didn't delete. Didn't respond. Maybe someday. Not today. I pocketed my phone, walked back inside. Chloe was laughing at something Alex said. Grandma was cutting second slices for anyone who wanted them. This right here. This was enough. I grabbed another slice of cake and sat down. Forward, not backward. Just forward. Do you ever wonder if some relationships are just too broken to truly fix, or if they simply evolve into something new?